Alright everybody, welcome back to our newest Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battle. I'm working on a makeshift rain team right here with Mr. Harkover, his last amazing performance versus the great one and only Hayden. And then of course we have St.Squall, we have good old Quackshot Joe, who you haven't seen, Perchant, which is a very special set for Corviknight, and then Rico, Morton, and Mr.Moustafa. And if you guys know that Paper Mario reference, you absolutely rock. Leave it down below in the comments section. Mark, Dual Screens, Grimmsnarl, Great Tusk, Glamora, Roaring Moon, Goldango, and Breloom. His entire team is a massive, massive threat. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get directly into it, shall we? So I am pretty sure that he is not going to actually be set up that his Breloom is faster than my Corviknight because of how my Corviknight is set up. So I'm actually going to lead with my Corviknight so I can just go ahead and Brave Bird that thing directly off the map, because Breloom putting anything on my team to sleep is really aggravating. I don't have Brick Break to break through screens on Grimmsnarl. Let's see how it goes, enjoy the match, and let's get into it. Alright, my opponent's going to be leading off with this Grimmsnarl, and I'm going to be leading off with Perchant, my amazing Dual Screens Corviknight. Yeah, let's get that started. So we're going to go ahead and kick this into high gear, get the speed going, and get right directly into this fight. So, I want to determine what I want to actually go into here. I decide Mr. Harkover is actually a really, really good switch into this thing. I was kind of thinking like Shed Tail shenanigans, but I just kind of want to gauge Iron Head through Reflect just to see how much it actually does. His screens is kind of whatever. It does about a third. I'm pretty okay with that. It's not too big of an issue because I can just get my screens up as well. And since he probably doesn't, since knockoff Grimmsnarl hasn't been a thing since Clefable was running around, I'm not worried about my Light Clay being knocked off or my screens being depreciated in the number of turns. Also, this is the very, very first battle video on my channel that is actually narrated and scripted by Seek Voice AI. That link will be down below in the description if you're interested. It allows you to do voice scripting and stuff directly through Discord through a voice channel. It's really cool as well because if you're holding like voice meetings or whatever, people can read everything that you're actually showing on the screen, and they can just follow your voice meeting by looking at the channel. It's actually really fantastic. Now, this guy throws in this threat like it's no big deal, throws this Roaring Moon in on my Corviknight that has gotten reduced to rubble, well, I guess cold steel, reduced just by this parting shot. So I know this, you know, Dondozo doesn't care, Mr.Moustafa. By the way, if you guys get that reference, leave it in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about getting you something extra, extra special. Only going to take the first person who's correct, because I want to get some activity in the comment section down below. Anyways, he's going to go ahead and terrestrialize into this flying guy, as I guess he thought I would terrestrialize into Steel to take his flying type, which is very, very significant. But even through screens, that Avalanche does a really nice chunk of damage. I actually forget your name. You've watched all my battles, but you recommended me change up some of the moveset of Dondozo, and that's exactly what I've done. This damage on Breloom is also super, super, super relevant, as you'll see later on. I decided to go directly out back into my Perchant, because, I mean, something is going to get spored on my team, and I would prefer to have this thing asleep rather than anything else, because this is my Corviknight. It doesn't do too much to anything else on his team. It gets reduced by Parting Shot, and it really doesn't do a whole lot else with screens up, so I figured it's the perfect sleep fodder. That being said, I'm going to go into Rico Morton, and Rico Morton can take a close combat. That really caught me off guard. I was actually expecting just a Technaloon Bullet Seed. I'm actually trying to figure out, I don't see a Life Orb, so I'm kind of like, okay, it might be loaded dice, but at the same time, it may not be. What I decided to do is go out into St.Squall right here. Hopefully, I come in on this Bullet Seed, and I was like, okay, is this Skilling Bullet Seed, is this Lotus Dice Bullet Seed, or is this Technician Boosted Bullet Seed? I don't believe that this is Technaloon or Life Orb, so I am out of range of Mach Punch, even with Reflect Up. The Reflect Up definitely helped me take it a little bit better. Now, I just decided to go directly for the Hurricane here. I know he wants to preserve his Breloom. Breloom is always nice to be preserved for, like, take the Mach Punches, or just Mach Punches in general. Now he goes out into Glamora, and let me tell you something, when he threw this Glamora in like this on this Hurricane, I was so terrified. I was like, oh my god, this is Choice Scar. Oh my god, yes, I'm relieved his Black Sludge. I'm not near as worried about it, I'm not as scared of it, as he just recovers all the Black Sludge, knowing I can now outspeed this thing, hit it off with a Weather Ball of Water, and take this thing completely out of the picture. By the way, I had a lot of trouble coming up with the title to this video. I was kind of thinking like a dance-off, and that's kind of where I got the whole inspiration for this video. And as always, if you like music we're kicking down below, kicking in today's show, drop a comment down below and let me know. My god, it's like we haven't said that in forever, right? So he's going to go back out into the Grimstorm, which is probably going to want to set up screens and or Parting Shot out of Lieutenant Squall. But I feel like this is the time for Mr. Harkover to come in and just set up a Shed Tail and just not care. But also, I was kind of thinking, since he's flying Terrestrial and I have Earth Eater, I have to be able to take a Crunch, but Stealth Rocks is going to be so beneficial as well, which is also why I went in on Mr. Harkover, because I know after Stealth Rocks that this Roaring Moon is going to be at a point that its switch-ins are pretty much useless, and Mr. Harkover can revenge kill it and take it out with a Metal Burst, or even just wear it down. All it's got to do is take one attack, and I knew that going into this. So now, I'm going to go out to Pelipper and try to U-turn softly back into Mr. Harkover. That is what my plan was individually, but also, I knew it didn't matter what he went for here. I didn't want to get my attack reduced because I didn't want to be out of range of Parting Shot and then get like crit to a Crunch or some weirdness like that to give this Roaring Moon any type of incentive to come back. But with the Stealth Rocks, you know, he's down below half, and this big threat that has definitely been the looming threat aerialating over my team and just kind of levitating above there and being terrifying, it's definitely to a point that I can definitely take it down. And I was like, alright, so he doesn't crit Crunch, don't you dare get a defense drop. Hurricane does take it down to a point. I'm so glad I didn't go for Ice Beam. I definitely wouldn't have brought it down to the range that I know that I could easily take it out with Mr. Harkover or anything else in my team for that matter. An Aqua Step would be necessary since he doesn't have a Dragon Dance. I know Mr. Harkover can take Earthquake because of Earth Eater. He can take Crunches, and he can take boosted flying moves. So that is exactly what I go into. No defense drop on Mr. Harkover. Instead, I get a nice tasty recovery, and I feel like Shed Tail, I feel like this is the time, because this is the time that I want to get in my dancing. You know, we're having a dance-off. We're on the dance floor where you're trying to show whose number is better. And let me tell you something. I have the better dancer. I have Quaquaval. And let me tell you, Quackshot Joe is... So, Quackshot Joe is a reference to both my favorite Sega Genesis game, if you have never heard of me mention Quackshot, but also Knuckle Joe from Kirby. So I thought it was a pretty cool reference. And Trill, I tell you what, if he wins this battle, if he does really well in this battle, he can be an Avocado. Does that work for you, Trill? Trill hates saying this thing's name, so he always calls it Avocado. But luckily I get the Aqua Step off and the speed and the Moxie, so now I'm at a very, very nice range. I wanted to get that speed. I wanted to use that substitute to take whatever he went for and then get that Aqua Step off and get that speed up. So that was so important, plus getting that Moxie. But this is so cool because he doesn't have his Reflect up, and I do have the super effective Ice Spinner. So that is so important. Ice Spinner is going to devastate this Breloom and take it out of the picture. That is so great. What started out as the most threatening thing being the Roaring Moon has now become a massive dance-off with my duck here, and he is duck step. He is ice stepping all over the place. He is stepping on souls and breaking bones. And let me tell you something, this Reflect is so important. And also this bulk up. The bulk up and the Reflect are both important to take this oncoming Spirit Break, which is a great play on my opponent to try to put this thing out of its misery. And you'll see right there, the Reflect goes down right there, and that was so important. His Reflect to go down to take him out with an Aqua Step, which that definitely wouldn't have killed if Reflect was up, and he would have been able to 2-hit KO even through my bulk up and take me out with a Spirit Break. So that is super important. By the way, guys, at the end of the battle, I've got a lot of stuff to talk to you guys about and just enlighten you on some things and let you know some things that are going on. Unfortunately, Goldengo at that amount with that many Moxies cannot take this either, so Quaquaval is coming in and doing the dance and doing the jig and getting down with this bad self. It is doing the dirty bird all over my guy's team here. He goes out into Great Tusk, and I was going to swap out, but I was like, you know what, I got Mr. Harkover on 2 HP. Great Tusk will still outspeed everything after that. I could probably revenge it off and take it down with Dondozo, because Dondozo doesn't care, but I want to go ahead and take it out with a Great Tusk just to be safe. Thank you so much, Mark, for that game. That was fantastic. That was a... You were planning on trying to get that Roaring Moon set up to sweep me, and I'm telling you what, that Avalanche did... That Avalanche and the Stealth Rock from Mr. Harkover were significant and imperative for wearing your team down and winning that game. That was a very close game, and you know what, Trill? I guess it is an Avocado. But on with the outro stuff. So I am back. I know... Retro, you keep saying that. Yes, I know. But taxes are almost here and among us, and you know what that means. That means it's time to stop struggling. But what's important with that is I'm actually going to be starting a new series starting on Friday, and then following into next week. I'm going to be supplementing content to have other content in between other content. I also am going to have a new video out on the new channel so that I can explain it, but for those of you that don't know, I'm actually recording my VODs, so when I stream now, I'm actually streaming directly to that VODs channel, so it's now recorded on both my Twitch and my VOD channel, because Twitch only holds those recordings for 2 weeks. So it's very imperative if you want to watch those recordings and more of a live stream type of situation, non-edited content, then that is there for you if you like. Feel free to subscribe and check out those channels. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Keeping that in mind, I'm going to try to have like 3 Wi-Fi battles a week, but I'm also going to try to bring some Showdown content, and I'll get more into that as I show you guys some games. Trying to really get on the content grind now. Starting now, it's full go. Once I finish Violet, we're getting off of Pokemon content and doing something else. Also, as of the recording of this video, it's like almost 7 in the morning, and it is 2:22, and Pokemon Direct is in 5 days, next Monday at 8 a.m. my time. I will see you guys then. And I will probably stream it on the VODs channel, so if you want to watch it, follow my Twitch, follow the VODs, and I'll see you guys there. Take care. Peace.